Alleviating Poverty by Helping the Poorest of the Poor. I accompanied Anne Guerrant to Africa this fall. Anne is a former pro tennis player who was number 11 in the world at the height of her career, after beating Martina Navratilova and Billie Jean King, who happened to be her doubles partner. Anne traveled the world as a tennis player. All over the world, she saw lots of poverty. She vowed to do something about it someday, and that is exactly what she is doing. Ivan and I helped Anne and her husband Terry raise money for women in developing countries to start their own businesses through small loans called microfinance. Anne still travels all over the world at least twice a year to visit the women we raise money for. This fall, I accompanied Anne to Africa along with another Guerrant board member, Charlotte Denier. We went to Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. We attended several women's weekly meetings where they pay back a small portion of their loan each week. Their loans are paid back within 6 months usually, at which time they are eligible for another loan. In one of the groups we attended, all of the women grew maize. Each of them had 1 or 2 acres, which they harvested by themselves, by hand. They pick the maize by hand, let it dry, and then they flick each kernel off of the cob with their thumb. Incredible. With their loan money, they purchase maize to plant, and with their profits, they can send their children to school. Schools are not free in Africa like they are in America. The program I was most impressed with was the ELA program, which stands for Empowerment, Livelihood, Adolescence. There is so much violence and abuse against young girls in Africa. The ELA program provides a safe place for girls aged 10 to 22 to come to every afternoon from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. The group we observed had about 20 girls in it, all crammed into one small room. The teacher, or coach as she called herself, was Sheila. She taught them all different kinds of concepts, such as be safe, be healthy, be independent, be empowered, be money savvy. The day we were there, the coach taught them that they have rights. The walls were covered with posters that said how to avoid being raped. Other signs said avoid moving alone, AIDS has no cure. Although it was gut-wrenching to hear their stories of being raped by a grandfather at 11, getting pregnant and contracting AIDS, and then being kicked out of the house for shaming the family, even though the grandpa had no consequences, that's gut-wrenching. It was gut-wrenching to listen to, but it's encouraging to know that organizations like BRAC, whom we give the money to, is doing something to help these girls and protect them. One of the girls we met in that group's name was Chittagong. When Chittagong was 16, her mother died, and her father remarried. Chittagong's new stepmother decided that she had to drop her out of school so that they could pay for her 2 new siblings to go to school. At 16, Chittagong got pregnant and had twin girls, which she raised by herself. Her small loan allowed her to support her girls and herself by raising pigs. She can purchase a small pig for $15, and within 6 months, the pig is large enough to sell for $400. Her girls are now 6 years old, and she chooses to continue going to the ELA group as one of the oldest girls to help the younger girls. She even gives them money when she has extra. She described how grateful she is for the loans that allowed her to support her family. Because she's been so successful, the old boyfriend wants to come back, but she said no. Good for her. When I saw the magnitude of the poverty, it was very overwhelming. But realizing that with our help, the Guerrant Foundation has helped 37,000 women over the last 10 years, I still have hope. I still have a desire and a drive to help these women. Every little bit helps. Understanding that it takes as little as $200 for a woman in poverty to start her own business, it spurs me on to raise as much as I can. Ivan and I are committed to matching your donation up to $5,000. So whatever you donate, we will match that amount. And then whatever amount that is, Ann and Terry Guerrant will match that donation so that your donation will be quadrupled. I hope you will find it in your heart to help too.